Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online Let's Talk video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we're just going to be talking about our hopes for 2019 in ESO. And I'm going to just say what I think I would like to see in 2019 and how I'd like to see it laid out. First off, I would like to see the first DLC to be an open world DLC. One that adds something similar to Murkmire, but not Murkmire, but adds a small zone like Murkmire, like this, and adds in not necessarily an arena, but maybe a mini trial, or a trial of some degree, that the zone itself tells the story going into the next chapter. And I think that would be really good for the game. Personally, I feel that that's something that's needed, is something that's going to tell the next story. So that's just my idea, that's just my thoughts. Now when it comes to the chapter and what I'd like to see in it, as you guys can all see, I'm in a wonderful place called Craglorn. Craglorn is a misunderstood area in the game. A lot of people see this and think, oh my god, this is the most difficult content in the game. It's not, it's an adventure zone. And I think that's what's needed for the next chapter, is an adventure zone type chapter release. Not a chapter release like Morrowind or Somerset that gives you a new starting area, but is a new adventure area where we go for our next quest line and it goes into a deeper story, leading us into the next set of content that we'll be getting over the next year, or even 2 years. But I'd really like to see something like that. The reason I'd like to see something like that is because I really like the way the Craglorn area is laid out. See, we have a lot of content here with group delves, normal delves, group quest areas, which are repeatable, and we have world bosses, we have public dungeons, kind of like public dungeons. I mean, the quest areas are kind of like public dungeons. Then we have 3 trials. What I'd like to see them do is to do this, but instead of making it 3 trials, make it 1 trial, 1 arena, and 1 dungeon. This way we get a mix of content with that chapter release. And I think it would be really good for the community. I think it would be really good for the player base, especially when you're looking for something to do with your friends, and especially a group of friends. There isn't a lot of places that are catered to that. A lot of the content becomes too irrelevant for group play once you reach a certain power level. And it's not that it's irrelevant, but it's just a lot of things are too easy for a group of people to do. But a place like Craglorn that has multiple group dynamic areas and group delves and group quest areas can really add a new experience to the game. The next DLC after that, I would like to see a dungeon DLC. The reason I say that is because for those people who enjoy doing dungeon content and love that kind of deep delve kind of stuff, that's something that's fun to them, and it's something that's enjoyable. Myself, I do like doing dungeons, so it would be a nice addition to the game as well. So I'd like to see 2 new dungeons added in the next DLC after the chapter. The next set of content after that, this is going to sound really odd to a lot of people, but I'd like another open world DLC. And the reason I say another open world DLC is I want to see a DLC that's like the Thieves Guild or the Dark Brotherhood that adds a new skill line. Maybe a world skill line, maybe a new type of skill line. Also the chapter, I would love to see a new skill line or a new class added. I think that's something that the game really needs right now, and I think what the game really needs right now, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, is a class that's very similar to like how the Warden, how the Nightblade, and how the DK are, where you have a lot more skills available to you that are stamina based, with stamina morphs and magica morphs. I think that's something that we need in a new class. A new skill line would be something that I'd like to see added, But the new skill line I want to see added, personally, probably isn't going to come until we get Skyrim, and that's if they add the Bard School. But we'll have to see. But I would love to see a new skill line added to the chapter, or a new class, and then in the last DLC of the year, I'd love to see another skill line added, because I want to see more options become available through skills, not just gear sets. And every time they add new dungeons and new trials or new content, they always add a lot of gear sets. What I'd like to see in the chapter when it comes to the gear sets is I would like to see 3 overland sets, 3 crafted sets, and then for the arena, a weapon set. For the trial, a trial set, and then for the dungeon, a dungeon set with a monster helm. See, I think that would be really cool to do an adventure zone with that kind of thing, because it would allow them to create a lot of unique sets for the purpose of that release that would really expand on the options that are available, not only to new players coming into the game with the overland sets and the crafted sets, but the veteran players from the dungeon and the dungeon sets and the monster set. Then for the advanced, the more hardcore in-game players, you have the trial sets, which would be in a perfect and imperfect. Then you'd have the arena, which would drop a weapon set in normal mode and in a perfect version in veteran mode. So you'd have a lot of varying different options for that release. So it'd make it a lot more expansive on the gear selection. And it would give them a really good time to go in and look at some sets and see what they could do to maybe tweak them, maybe make them a slight bit better, but not in like where they're necessarily needed, but where they're slightly better. But this would be a good time to do that, and that's why I said they could add a class to this, or they could add a new skill line. I mean, they're already in the process of working on it, so the new chapter is being worked on right now, along with every DLC that's coming out this year. Because that's the way they've been doing it every year. They have 4 teams working on different content for each thing. So right now, they have a group working on getting ready to release the next DLC. They already have a group working on the next chapter. They already have a group working on the DLC that comes after that, and the DLC after that. The ones who are working on the final DLC of the year, they're in the building stages of that DLC. Where this DLC getting ready to come out is pretty much done. They just need to have us go on PTS, test things out, find some bugs, make sure everything's working as intended, make some adjustments, and release. They're going to do the same thing with the chapter when it gets closer to the chapter's release. The chapter's pretty much done. They're probably working on art assets right now, or some of the art and environment. If there's a new skill line, they're probably working on adding the skill, the way the skills look when activated, things like that, because we have a lot of skills with a lot of different looks, so they could be doing that. But that's what I would personally like to see for this year. I know I don't know what's coming, but that's just my hopes and dreams. But that's pretty much what I would like to see added to ESO, and I think it would be a great addition to the game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what kind of things you would like to see, what you guys would like to have added to the game, and anything like that, because I do feel this game in 2019 might be getting some great additions. And I say might because I always hope. It's better to hope than it is to be negative about it. So but yeah, I hope that we get some really cool stuff this year, and we'll just have to see. So, but that's it for the video, guys. So if you like the video, you know what you need to do. Hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, this guy might catch you in game. Bye.